Add me to Karan Sri Jalan Gati Angran was an adjacent.
Who even got any? My jerpach, my when I got any. Same Nike and the Konote at the Surgeon Semet got any.
People couldn't imagine, that you can revive something which is not there and then make a livelihood out of it.
If you see the statistics, in the last 3 decades, the entire craft sector has shrunk by 1/3.
Somewhere they were never given the same patronage as art.
For more than 2 generations, it was not there. It had almost extinct.
ஏன்னா நாம் இது மறுபடியும் இப்போ விட முடியறதில்ல. பிடிச்சிருக்கு செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Sittilingi in 93 was very, very different from how it is now. It was a dead end. Many days during the year, we are cut off. The valley altogether is cut off from the rest of the year. Now, even the last village in the valley is connected because there are bridges over the streams. When we came here, there was a strong healthcare need here. Because the nearest hospital was 48 kilometers away. We being 2 doctors, we had to address them. First 10 years of us being here, 93 to 2003, basically all our effort went in setting up the hospital, training the health workers, the local girls to train them to be able to man the hospital. We have in the valley 16 villages. 13 are Malayalam tribe, which is the predominant tribal community in Tamil Nadu. Then there are 2 Lambadi villages and 1 Dalit village.
Ma tatari dadang dadaga ay jo ukal में माँ वो तो थी उससे बार से थी आज वो युर्मिला ना कते थी वो रेताने आज वो जना वो मालन छेचा कलवी छेचा वो गाठन वो पेरी मारी आड़ी गाठन को ने मार दादी गाठन मारी आड़ी दिए और पस सीखल दीजिए पस मारी आड़ी में गाठन देने अनसे कूलिन न काम रहे ना दत्तो गाठन उन्हें हूँ इन करताने ने सेन दीजिए एक हफ्ता चिटलिंग में से रज रहे अंगार पड़तानी बढ़गो रकाड़ मिले जना से जून रुपया 9 रुपया छीचा रुपये रोज जना से कागज पेपर छीचा जना से जून रुपया बढ़ गए रहे जो रो हाड़ नहीं कि देख तो करा सुई झलन गाटी आंगरन वोसने जाचे पड़का वे को जेर बचे गाटा से गाट होती तो हम ही गाटा हिंगा ने तोड़ा चुड़ियो गाटा गोनी करन तोड़े नहीं राजना बातें करते तो उसे मन से जाए नहीं गाटा अपने सीखे जो तोड़े दिन कसन छोड़ा सीखे जो तोड़े पंद्रालू नहीं करा हिंगा ने तोड़ा चे आज खेतर पन्नीम करा जा उन आध धड़ियाँ छोड़ दियांगे जो ये नहीं करन दे कहाँ हिंगा न करा जा वो काम है न गमगो जो तो ही फोटो पांगर ना आये जो करेंगे ना आपने ये न लद तो हिंगे ताने न करा करन तोड़ने पड़ना करने को नहीं करन तोड़ने नहीं
The Lambadis were a nomadic tribe, and apparently several centuries back there was a cholera epidemic. Except 4 people, everyone in that community died. They walked through the forest and reached the valley, and the Malayalis here gave them land and space, and from that 4 people and their marriage and this thing, only this 2 tandas happened.
मैं 10 वयसी में तीरे तानी न 10 वयसी तीरे मैं गाटे रसी की मारी आड़ी ठामें देखन मार मोड़बा पर छोरी गाट रही उन देखन वो गाटा जन देख देखन मरडी ठामें पाड़ लें उन मिड मेलन उन देख देखन मैं गाटे रसी की मारी आड़ी में जान मन पल्लीकोड़ में भेड़ 5 वयसी माँ 1 वर्ष कहीं को मैं पल्लीकोड़ में रहूं मारी आड़ी ये की ओती मही थमी दगो होटो में पड़ती को नहीं ओती मही रहेगी कहीं वो रमले की कर लेने कहीं पड़ी रही और बस से यहीं गाटू कर जन देख देखन वो अपन गोरे फेटिया काली गाटा जन देख देखन वो ना तुम्हें गाटा नहीं सीखी उन कौन गाटू कर हैं करा कस्टमर काना कोई गाटी को नीचे छोड़ देनी वेरे कारणम कहाँ से करूँगा तो पहले फेटा काली पहले कती एक टाउन जानो को तो एक बार वासे कती एक जानो को तो से कसी भागनी उदा कल पहले करो मोरो करन कड़ा होता मैं इधर पची से पैर रही फेटा काली है तो सेना में गार्डन दिनी इतांडे मांग स्वीर काम करते हैं वेंगिन से स्वीर काम किम करे रोक तो मालन चीनी वन गार्डन कूली देना गटान पेरिए अब मल्ली याड़ी से वही गाट तो आई नहीं वही कूली हम दी देन और याड़ी गार्डन दिनी जन मेले ना वो गार्डन पेर
Neela and Gummy, they were the only people who knew it. We continued talking to them and both the tandas together, they said, we will be interested in learning, younger people. Then they came up with this name, Porgai, which means dignity and pride and all that.
அந்த டைமில் வந்து நீலாம்மா வீட்டாண்ட 4-5 பேர் உக்காந்து ஒரு சின்ன பிட்டு துணியில் செஞ்சு காமிப்போம். இப்போ நீலாம்மாவுக்கு பிடிச்சாதான் நல்லா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அது கொஞ்சம் தப்பாயிடுச்சுன்னா இது நல்லா இல்லை எடுத்துக்கணும். அப்படியே எடுத்து போட்டு ஒரு பெரிய துணியில் அதுக்கப்புறம் போட்டு எல்லா டிசைனும் பழகி அதுக்கப்புறமா தான் மற்ற துணிங்களை போட ஆரம்பித்தோம் நாங்கள். அப்போ ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக இருந்துச்சு பழகினப்போ. ஏன்னா போடுறதும் அவங்க சொல்லுவாங்க இது நல்லா இல்லை எடுத்துரு. அப்போ கஷ்டமாக இருக்கும் இவ்வளோ போட்டு எடுக்க சொல்கிறாங்களேன்னு. இருந்தாலும் முயற்சி பண்ணி பழகிட்டோம் விடலை.
When they started doing it, they got the feeling that this is something which I have created, and the satisfaction which comes out of it, which in farming families they don't get at all, because it is a collective thing. A family together does the farming. Though it is mostly women who do major part of the work, their role ends with the harvest. Then it is the man's. Women mostly won't even know what is the rate at which he is selling it, what money comes in, and with all that labor, no, nothing is you can say as your own. Whereas in this, no, there is no one. It is my own, and that is very important, especially for women, where they don't get that kind of recognition in the family. போடு மேலே வெளிப்பக்கம் மருமகிலன் உள்பக்கம் இல்லை இந்த இது வந்து
இது வெளியே இருக்குல்ல, இங்கே போடுறப்போ உள்பக்கம் வரும்.
இந்த உள்பக்கமா? அப்போ கொஞ்சம் இது கவர் ஆகிடும். இப்போ வெறும் ஒரு வெள்ளனா பொசிட்டுக்கு போட்டுடலாமா ஒன்று அதிலேயே? பெஸ்ட்டு.
எங்கள் பாட்டிமாருங்க அவங்க செஞ்சாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் இருக்க அது அப்படியே விட்டுட்டோம். தான் வந்து சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, இதை பழகிக்கோங்க அப்படின்னு. கொஞ்சம் சீக்கிரமாக கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா நைட்டில் உக்காந்து செய்வோம். நைட்டில் உக்காந்து செய்கிறப்போ வீட்டில் பிரச்சனை வரும். லைட்டு போட்டுட்டு பொழுதுனிக்கும் செய்கிற, நைட்லேயும் உக்காந்து செய்கிறேன்னு திட்டுவாங்க. அவங்க தூங்கினதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்களுக்கே தெரியாமல் எழுந்து உக்காந்து இதை தைச்சி நாங்கள் கொடுப்போம். அப்போ அவங்க கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டு காலையில் சண்டை வரும். இருந்தாலும் அதையும் சமாளிச்சுட்டு, ஏன்னா நாம் இது மறுபடியும் இப்போ விட முடியறதில்ல. எனக்கு 3 வயசு இருக்கும் அப்போ அம்மா இறந்துட்டாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் எங்கள் அப்பா வந்து எங்கள் அம்மாவோட தங்கச்சியை கட்டிட்டு வந்து எங்களெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கிட்டாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஹாஸ்டலில் கொண்டு போய் என்னை விட்டுட்டாங்க. அப்போல்லாம் படிக்கணுன்னா அங்கே தான் போனோம், அரூர். அங்கே போய் அங்கே ஒரு 8-9 வருஷம் அங்கே இருந்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் கல்யாணம் ஆச்சு. சின்ன வயசுலேயே கல்யாணம் ஆச்சு, 18 வயசுலேயே கல்யாணம் ஆயிடுச்சு. தம்பிக்கு ஸ்கூலுக்கு படிக்கிறதுக்கு, அப்புறம் பாப்பாவுக்கு செலவுக்கு இது செஞ்சுட்டு அவளுக்கும் தம்பிக்கும் நான் இதிலிருந்து பாதி கட்டிடுவேன். அவங்க செலவில் இருந்து பாதி கட்டுவாங்க. அவள் மூளை ரொம்ப வேலை செய்கிற மாதிரி இருக்குது. இப்போ அவள் பேசுறது பதில் எனக்கு சொல்ல முடிய மாட்டேங்குது. அவள் கேட்குற கேள்விக்கு என்னால் பதில் இப்போவே சொல்ல முடியறதில்ல. பெருசானதுக்கப்புறம் அவள் என்ன பண்ணுறான்னு எனக்கே தெரியல. அவள் இன்னும் நல்லா படிப்பா. அவளுக்கு வந்து கலெக்டர் மாதிரி இருக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறா. ஆனால் அது அவளோட கனவு, அவள் தான் நிறைவேற்றிக்கணும். அதுக்கு தேவையானது எங்களால் முடிஞ்சது நாங்கள் 2 பேரும் சேர்ந்து அவங்களுக்கு செஞ்சு கொடுப்போம்.
Each craft has its own story. It's absolutely cruel to not even think about it. Crafts has always been commoditized, but it has immense potential. It needs to be elevated to the same level as arts.
संध्या फोटो पेटे थे कि चापर संग तो कराया
पड़ गया
पड़ गई सर सर वेदर छोड़िए का
वेदर करना ना छोड़िए 3 मिनट पते पड़ गई
The way these pieces turn out, it's so unique and interesting to our country, to the very localness of geographies that a craft form has emerged from.
And whatever little they had, no, we collected. We bought all of it for the society.
It's a dying art of sorts.
It's died. Before, all girls used to learn it for their own dress. No? Then they all shifted to saris. So the craft died down. Neela's generation, they also didn't wear it, but they had the nice thing to learn it from their grandmothers when they were very small. So that was remaining in them.
So now they are teaching the...
Now they trained others, and that's how it was revived.
So even the tribals are not wearing this kind of stuff anymore.
So now, very few of them now, very old dadis, no, above 80 kind of. There are 4 or 5 people in the village who are wearing it. But that also only has the form, no embroidery.
Okay.
It's a so the fabric is different. The colors are different.
Very beautiful piece.
Yeah. So that is what we want to do now, but we don't have market for all these now. Because these are very intricate and time consuming and becomes expensive.
Yeah.
But this is the soul of Sittilingi Lambadi embroidery, you know, the Tamil Nadu Lambadis, no? They don't, there is a geographical variation from the Lambadis of Anagha and Karnataka. Because
stitches will be different.
Stitches are almost the same, but the combination of stitches that they use in their motifs are different, no? So we want at least part of our market to be that.
Yeah.
But we need people, no, to understand
To
that
understand and value it.
value it.
Yeah.
There definitely is a market for this. Somewhere there are people who will value this and ready to commission this, all that.
We need to find those.
We have to connect with them. We haven't found them, they haven't found us. So that.
Craft, still even my parents' generation had patrons. My mother bought handloom saris. My mother bought cushions that were handmade. This was because there was no Gap, there was no H&M, and there was no Fab India, and there was no so many West Side and Lifestyle and all these branded agencies that were selling mass. So you still bought from a maker.
It's the second biggest occupation in our country after agriculture.
if you see the statistics, in the last 3 decades, the entire craft sector has shrunk by 1/3. And if I'm looking at the last 3 decades, that's my generation that's killed the craft sector or killing it.
And a lot of migration happens because of not being able to depend fully on agriculture. That was the case with Porgai and how Dr. Lalita dealt with it in terms of getting another avenue for livelihood for those women to stay back in their villages and to enjoy their work, and as well as the pride that they get out of practicing that craft.
Our artisans get payment by cash only. Because in between our auditor was telling that you have to make it bank, no? But our women refused because if you make a bank payment, then the husbands will take it through the ATM with the ATM card, no? So the very effect of Porgai's money going is because it is going to the woman, and the husband doesn't know how much she is earning. Because all the other regular work, now the husband will know, no? How much she is getting. You go for an NREGA work, or you go to somebody else's land for agricultural labor. What is the rate there for 6 hours of work, 8 hours of work? The man will know how much she is getting. So he can get it from her. No? Now, sometimes they will say that, no, don't give the money now, keep it. Keep it here in the office. Let it be in the bank. Don't give me my salary for this month. Give it after 3 months when there will be a lump sum, and then that will be Diwali time, or that will be RD. RD is the month where there are a lot of reduction sales everywhere, no? So they'll say, no, like keep it down. The 3 months before that, they'll say, don't give the money. I'll buy it in RD when there is a clearance reduction sale. So I want to buy something for the family. So many a time when they come to the hospital, they'll say 1 week of fever. This thing. Why didn't you come? No, I didn't have any cash with me. Many women say that, no? Because the cash is always in many households with the man. So this is cash in their hand. No? So those are
very interesting.
मर्दा जमांगा नाराज जातो जान को नहीं कांच है जाए तो कोई लगा जान तो कहते हैं बंदे आगे मैं आंसू ना है
In all the social projects, the livelihood projects that I'm engaged in, the core purpose of the project is not really about livelihood. It lies elsewhere. First thing that we are looking at is in creating self-reliance. The female gender is often not even counted. If you ask somebody how many children you have, typically they'll say 2 when there are 6 running around the yard, because the man hasn't counted his daughters. They have terrible names like unwanted and you should have been dead, and this is what the names translate to, or something as common as santra or badam, which are just, you literally objectify. So from birth, the child is just made to look after her younger siblings or cattle or cook or... And by the time she's 12 or 13, she's married off. By the time she's 16, she's had her child. So there really isn't a life that she has of her own. And through a project where you say, yeah, you can do something. And here's something that you're doing, and here you're making your own money, and here you're taking your own decisions, and here you're governing so many women, here you're governing this project, here you're talking to an exporter, a buyer. So you see, it just grows, and so does the woman's self-esteem. And I think, especially in our country, unless somehow we bridge this gender gap, we are going to be progressing in half steps.
Porgai is a society of artisans. The center of all that we do is the artisan. And there are not many groups like that.
I feel whatever design a livelihood project generates, it has to be from the people that make it, and it has to speak of the people, of the place that they belong to, of their cultures, of their customs. Maki podlama. Alati idu podlam positive. Positive konja gillan. இந்த மாதிரி லைன் அப்புறம் கொஞ்சம் கில்லன் அப்புறம் இதுக்கு பதிலி கில்லன் சீக்கிரம் ஆகிடல அப்படி படிக்கணும். She's saying this is taking too much time. சரி கில்லன். The first thing that struck me about Sittilingi was that there were these rolling hills and fields and fields and fields of millet, which you don't get to see in other parts of India, and people are really, really dependent on their millet. So we took millet as our first source of inspiration. They each brought stock of grain themselves. So somebody got ragi, somebody got kambar, and it was just kept there. And we said, okay, now what you see, try and embroider what you see. Let's not draw it. And it came out perfect. You could pretty much eat that kambar off the cloth. It was so fantastic.
I do see how people are gravitating towards handmade and how it is being valued. But there's a long way to go. The Western world, in fact, is more appreciative of the crafts, and I guess we are picking it up, slowly in India. We got to support fair wages throughout, and groups who have that practice of giving fair wages to their artisans and karigars. I think that's a basic hygiene we need to maintain. If we are supporting a group, we must insist on that. We must also insist on many other things, but this is a clear yes or a no, and that's where it starts.
If I break every project down, there's a group of makers and there's a group of buyers. The buyers are not really literate in what the makers do and what the makers face. So this bridge in between is extremely important. And that is where the challenge lies. Even if you go for a sale to any of these stores that's selling a shirt for 200 rupees, how much cotton went into it? How much does 1 meter of cotton cost? And it takes 2.5 meters to make a shirt. So it would cost me 150 rupees just for the material. Then I'm putting dyeing and printing and weaving and tailoring. So really, if I add just the basic costs out, I'm buying into exploitation by buying something cheap.
When the whole world is moving towards that dominant mode of development, it takes a lot of courage to turn back and start walking in the opposite direction. Porgai as a society never wanted to grow quickly and be part of the race in the market which you see around us. We had been growing very organically, slowly, with the limited resources that we have. There is a certain level of self-sufficiency in these rural economies and a great degree of equity. The person is respected and served instead of making her a servant to the machinery. I feel I am privileged to have the opportunity of living with and understanding the courage and the resilience of a whole lot of very simple, unassuming women in our villages. I have been seeing them for 2.5 decades now, and what I have realized is that they simply don't have any opportunity in their life. They are not provided any opportunity in their life to understand their self-worth. When I see all of them here in a rural setting with very simple and difficult lives on one side, and this great skills of an artist, when they create all this, that work by itself provides them an opportunity to realize that happiness which a creator in any creation gets. And that makes them much more complete and fuller as individuals, which without Porgai they wouldn't have got at all. At least 50 of our 60 artisans, if this was not there, would have been elsewhere as migrant laborers.
परती सूर्य निंदिटी का हैं कर लेन देखो निंदा ना भी धाड़न से देकर बनने हाई कर ले देखो कोई छेड़ीर मन कैसे देखाई नहीं करना तो
केरला में क्यों काम कर
केला ना का तो कहीं सूर्य में देखा जाएगा मन के लार 10 दिन लार काम करा जा
కేరళ ఎందు பண்ணால என்ன வேலை பண்ணுவீங்க
காங்கிரீட் வேலை பயமா இருக்கு போய் பார்த்தாவே ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் பார்த்தாவே அதனால தான் அப்படியே நல்லா வருது பயமா இருக்கு
என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க
பண்ண சொல்லிடுவாங்க தான் அவங்க பார்க்காம இருக்காங்க
பண்றதா பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும்
போய் ஆபரேஷன் பண்ணா சட்டி தூக்க முடியாது பாக்குது இன்னும் அதிகமாயிடுச்சுன்னா அப்ப மேல பாரம் தூக்க முடியாதா
அதுதான் கெட்டு போயிடுதுமா அப்போ கண்ணை வச்சு நம்ம விளையாடக்கூடாதுமா ஒரு தடவை காமிங்கோ செங்கத்தில் இருக்குல்ல செங்கத்தில் இருக்கு கண்ணாஸ்பத்திரி
அங்க இருக்கு
பாருங்க அது அங்கே வந்து அவங்க இல்லை வேற ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டாங்கன்னா குறிப்பிட்ட நாளில் வர சொன்னால் அன்னைக்கு போங்க. The essence of Porgai's philosophy is to make an opportunity for our artisans to be in their own villages, work from their homes and flourish. Because for want of a livelihood, if they are forced to go elsewhere, they may earn money, but what they are losing is a whole lot of other things. The soul of Porgai embroidery is the intricacy. So at least part of the products of the association has to be brought out without losing that intricacy. And unless that kind of appreciation and patronage happens, there is very limited future for this revived craft. Nice. We go forward with the hope and the belief in the basic goodness of humanity, and that more people will start understanding the essence of sustainable small enterprises. There is an interdependence. Each one has a responsibility towards the other. The idea that one person doesn't have to lose for the other person to win. And the basic Ubuntu philosophy of the African tribes, that I can be happy only if everybody around me is happy and everybody around me has enough. This is the answer for many of the struggles that we are going through.
எங்க ஏழமக்கே வாழ்வதிலே பஞ்சமும் இல்லை, ஏரோட்டி நேரனது எதிரியும் இல்லை, எங்க ஏழமக்கே வாழ்வதிலே பஞ்சமும் இல்லை. நெத்தி வேர்வை சிந்தி விடு முத்து முத்தாக, நெத்தி வேர்வை சிந்தி விடு முத்து முத்தாக, நீர் பாஞ்சி நெல் வளையும் கொத்து கொத்து கொத்தாக, நீர் பாஞ்சி நெல் வளையும் கொத்து கொத்தாக, காய் பதெல்லாம் பூ பதெல்லாம் மாறியனால, காய் பதெல்லாம் பூ பதெல்லாம் மாறியனால, காண்பது விளாறுவது சூரியனாலே, காண்பது விளாறுவது சூரியனாலே, நெல்லு வளைஞ்சிடுச்சு பெண்ணே, நம்ம வரப்பு மறைஞ்சிடுச்சு கண்ணே, ஆளு விட்டு அறுத்துருவோம் பெண்ணே.